Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. I'm listening to Steve Fambro and podcast that he did back on February 28, 2023 of this year. And he's actually talking about some exciting things about what's getting ready to happen with Aptera. So go ahead and join me and we'll get right into it.
Losing my mind, can't find the words, no, I can't seem to find. I don't really try to get reason, rhyme, and sake of time and choose whether we green or yellow, whether we deep or shallow. Please me now, 'cause we're about to lose, whether we buy or hello, whether we stay or jello.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to my channel, everybody. We're so glad to have you here. I hope you're having a good day. And we're going to talk about the podcast that Steve Fambro had and some exciting things that he had talked about that you don't need to worry and just sit back and listen to the good things that he's going to bring out. So let's listen to what he brings out.
When we talk about where Aptera is now, it seems like we're pretty close to seeing these vehicles on the road where people can purchase them from the website. There's some pre-orders now. I think you could still invest in sort of a crowdfunding before the launch, so to speak. Like, I guess, where are we at in the journey of Aptera, and when can we expect to see them on the road?
I'd say we're pencils down with 95% or higher of all the vehicle engineering. There's a lot of validation engineering to occur now, and software and things like that. Some of it's, a lot of it's still to be written and then validated. But in terms of the hard sciences, the physical things, most of that is locked down and finished. And so we've just started cutting tools for those things in Italy with our partner CPC. The steel tools that are used to forge the carbon body, those are steel. I don't know how many tons, tens of tons each they are or more, but those are blocks that we had to buy 6 months ago in the production queue, so that they would be ready once we had design locked down. And so we're starting to cut some tooling now. We're not able to go as fast as we want because we are still in our Series B fundraising. That's the one you don't see. That's not the crowdfunding. That's us going out to the capital markets, dealing with institutional investors. And
Gotcha.
Those are what require Chris and I to travel. He's in Europe right now. We both just got back from Switzerland. I have to go to Dubai this week. I just found out this morning. And so we are, I would say, 4 or 5 big deals in between the Middle East, India, and Europe that we're working that should bring in the production money into the company. But while we're, the 150, $200 million, not only to fully fund the factory, but to increase production to 2 shifts and do all kinds of other things that we want to do with service. So that plan is in the process of being funded, and we are still using our crowdfunding to do whatever tooling progress we can to inch closer and closer to production. So we're not just keeping the lights on, so to speak. Everybody here has their hands in doing something every day that moves us closer and closer to production. But they really become unlocked once we close the Series B fundraising round, which I'm very hopeful we have some very positive momentum with that. It's just stuff I can't talk about publicly.
Sure. When you think of the ideal market this is for, would you say it's sort of that day-to-day travel, so now, many people work from home, right? So now people are driving even less, we would say, comparative to, just a few years ago. So this type of product is really meant for this era of, maybe you're not driving 20 miles to and from a job anymore. Maybe your daily commute is just, perhaps go pick up lunch, or you go to the grocery store, or you go, pick up somebody from school, right, to come back, and then you can have your meetings the rest of the day at home. Is that sort of the perfect fit is for that under 25 mile a day sort of driver?
It's a difficult question, and I say it like this: the And I'll talk about our customer breakdown in just a minute, because the two different kinds of people who our research has shown that's buying the Aptera. It's kind of counterintuitive. Chris and I mentioned we just got back from Switzerland for an investor conference there. We didn't have to take a car the whole time we were there. Well, actually, we did. Our friend picked us up from the train station in St. Moritz, took us to the hotel and back. But while we were in Zurich and going up the mountain St. Moritz, we're able to walk or take the streetcar wherever you wanted to go. One's coming by every 3 minutes. You buy a day ticket and you just go wherever you want.
Yep.
It's so easy.
We don't have that infrastructure in
Right.
America, though.
Exactly. But what the point I was getting at is that all transportation needs are local. It just depends on your situation.
Right. Great point. Yeah.
And so if I lived in Zurich, I don't even know that I'd have a car. But here, like in Southern California, the distances are still pretty wide. Even if let's say if you're a work at home person, if you have two children, in California, we pay the most for education per child than any other state or country in the world, I think. But we really don't have functional PE programs. We don't have functional music or dance programs. Parents have to pay for all those themselves on top of whatever they pay in property taxes. So you end up having to shuttle your kids around to all these different places, just part of the normal course of events. So there's a lot of people, in that situation where, yeah, they work from home. They don't want to drive anywhere, but they're taking one kid to dance and another kid to coding camp, and another one to soccer practice. And their Saturdays and Sundays are just spent shuttling kids around. So I would say in the U.S., and especially in the West Coast, people do drive a lot. It's, distances are just further than they are in, let's say, in the East Coast. As such, I think most people, if they lease a car for 12,000 miles a year, I think most people struggle to stay under that. They end up going over it or buying some mileage ahead of time to go over it. So I think 12,000 miles a year is pretty conservative. I think most people are going to want to drive more than that. As such, I think this will just be a primary vehicle for people, because if you're just doing it for normal stuff here in Southern California, you're already driving 12,000 miles a year. Like I'm super lucky. I live maybe 6-7 miles away from the office here. And it's just really close. And sometimes I can, my daughter can even take me and drop me off. Now that she's driving, she'll take my car sometimes. And even with those close distances, I'll for sure do more than 12,000 miles a year. And you go to somewhere like Texas, it's even worse. I mean, you're driving 30 minutes to school.
Yeah.
So I would say anywhere where people want to drive an electric vehicle and they want the freedom of just having to worry about where they're going to charge it, how they're going to charge it, all that kind of stuff. Maybe they only have a small garage, only they can charge one at a time. Anywhere you have that situation, somebody wants to save money on their fuel, on their gas. We're going to be about a quarter of operating costs of something like a Toyota Camry. And, any of those small cars, like I drive a Chevy Bolt. You take a Bolt or even a Model 3, you put two large suitcases in it, you just transformed it into a two-person vehicle because you can't use the back seats.
Right.
You can't even fit two suitcases in the back that size. So most people will find they'll be able to go somewhere with their significant other, someone else, put skis, luggage, stuff in it, and then just not have to worry about the range, not have to worry about stopping to charge, fighting the line at the supercharger, whatever. They can just go about their business and just not have to worry about it because they've got so much range on tap.
So do you think then the U.S. will be the primary market? I could second that. I just moved back from living in Amsterdam for 2 years.
Oh, cool.
And, cities are just built different.
Right.
In Europe, they have some cities that don't even allow cars in their downtown area.
Right.
Which is like, can't even imagine, right? Trying to get that passed at local legislation for even a small city in America, right? It's just not even on the radar, but it works so well there. I didn't drive a car in 2 years. I still don't have a car that I moved back.
Right.
But you kind of, when you get back, you kind of notice you really you don't almost have no choice. You kind of have to get a car.
Yep.
It's just like you said, the distances are just different to go to places. So do you think U.S. will be the primary market just because here cities are built much different than, let's say, Europe or, other parts of the world?
I mean, there's certainly most of the pre-orders are here, in the United States. overwhelming majority are here. The rest are, let's say, scattered through Australia, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, England, and then just onesies and twosies after that. I agree with you. Like in Amsterdam and places like Munich or Zurich, the best car is no car. It's because the public transport network is so mature. But come back here, the distances are too far to provide that kind of network. So I think the best place for this vehicle is North America. Canada, United States. You've got lots of wide open spaces, good roads. Especially the Western United States, you've got lots of sun exposure. That's going to get you probably mostly free driving. And anywhere where you're driving, hour plus at a time, and you don't want to have to worry about charging or fueling up or the cost, I think that's where you're going to see this really become popular.
A couple more questions here or wrap up is, speaking of, Switzerland or even in, the UK or Amsterdam, sun isn't abundant as it is in San Diego or the West Coast or the southern, hemisphere, southern part of the world. So I guess how would, let's say, a user in Switzerland, get the car charged, or even, we go 2 weeks without sun in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
So like how
I mean, it works like a regular electric vehicle, so you can still plug it in if you want.
so you can still charge it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does have a plug-in. Oh, okay.
Yeah. In
So
fact,
it's a next level hybrid.
yeah, next level. Thank you. In fact, in the U.S., like the standard 120 volt wall plug will get you more than 100 miles overnight. Like the same plug you plug in your cell phone. You don't even need a special charger. So the advantage of the smaller pack is it just charges a lot faster.
So I
you're
would
right.
just charge you just charge the battery and then put the battery back into the Aptera.
You just charge it like a normal electric vehicle.
Gotcha.
In fact, and that's just the way to think about it. Think of it as like a normal electric vehicle that sometimes will magically charge itself. But if it doesn't, or if you drive more than that, then you plug it in like a normal electric vehicle. So yeah, most people, so to answer your question, so let's say you top it off full charge somewhere in Holland, and you're right, it's like very overcast, and it will produce some power on those days, just not as much. It may mean that you only have to plug it in like once every couple of weeks or something like that.
Right. Right.
Which is still like a nice convenience.
Amazing. Yeah,
with my bolts between myself and now my daughter starting to drive it to go to dance class and stuff, we're always figuring out, okay, well, where are we going to plug it? We got one spot at home. Mom has to plug in her car. We got to plug in this one. So it's kind of a little hassle. I don't want to install another charger. Actually, in California, it's quite expensive now. It's getting more expensive to charge your vehicle from home because, you're not just paying for the kilowatt hours, you're also paying for the demand. So the higher rate you charge, you're paying on top. So you get bumped into like another tier of pricing. So I'm even thinking about, do I disconnect my solar from the grid already and then just power something that just charges the vehicles, because it just does not pencil out right now in California to sell that electricity back from your roof, to the utility and then buy it back to charge a vehicle and then pay a really high demand charge. They're getting all the upside, we're not getting any of it. So the Aptera kind of takes that, it just makes that conversation irrelevant.
Last question here is, when you look 3 to 5 years down the road here, what does success look like for you and the team? What are some of the goals that you hope to hit in that time frame?
I think success is this facility here in Carlsbad running 2 shifts, producing 10,000 vehicles a year. The company's well profitable, and Chris and I are able to take more of an advisory role, knowing that we've recruited just really world-class people here, high-quality people who are going to be able to take this company ahead, move it forward, advance the product, advance the vision without the founders, needing to be there at every turn. But kind of despite the founders, the DNA is now in the company and it's in the product. And to see that manifest, to see us not, to need to be as involved so that the team, and they're already doing that, to some degree, but that'll be like the real sign of success for us. It's like, okay, we did our job. We hired really, really good people, and we, made the expectations known and trained them, and now here they are, and they're just able to do everything.
Amazing, Steve. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy, and it's been great to learn about this stuff. And I know listeners are gonna get a lot out of this as well as I did. So I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck to you and the team for the next decade.
Hey, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. So Steve brought out some interesting things. He said that the crowdfunding that they're doing now on the website, that's basically just for getting tools and things that they need for the factory, maybe personnel. But he brought out that the big thing that they're going after, the B funding, that's what, it has nothing to do with what's happening on the internet, on their website, with the investment from the people. He said that him and Steve is going to be in Europe. No doubt he's going to be over there talking to the big boys they talked in Switzerland, and he'll probably head back over to Australia, while Steve is going to be, he said that he was going to be in Dubai in the Middle East. Remember when he went to the Middle East to do his work for FamGrow, that he went there and he had a good bit of people that he met with that invested in FamGrow, and he did very well over there for a couple of years. So no doubt he's going back over there to talk to those same individuals so that he could get funding for Aptera. And this is really a much better deal when he go over there and talk to them about that. And he said he is pretty positive that that is what they're going to get, that he's going to get some investors for that. And so everything is really looking positive, even though he wants to get about $200 million, $150 million. But I think that they're going to get it. I don't have no doubt in my mind that they are not going to get this money so that they can get Aptera rolling. But it sounds like he wants to do more than just one shift. He said that he wanted to do 2 shifts and probably, some other things that they're working on that he couldn't talk about. So it'll be interesting what he brings out down the road. All right, let's see what's happening on our accelerator program. And the last time I checked, it was at 503. All right, let's see. All right, look at that. Hey, look at that. That's almost 20 people that joined on. 20. All right, let's keep this thing rocking, guys. Let's keep it rocking. So now we're at 521 investors, and we have 700.65 million. Okay, let's keep it cranking. We got to get moving on this. And RP is still number 1, GZ is number 2, and MB is number 3, JB is 4, GT is 5, and PG is still number 6. So this is awesome. Aptera is moving in the right direction. Give me a comment below if you think that they're moving pretty good. Hopefully they'll move a little bit faster. We know that the time's going to be ending in about 2 weeks. So that would be good if they could move faster. And I just want to show this to you. If you want to invest in an Aptera and you want to get you a vehicle, then you could go ahead and use my link. And this is it right here. Go on the website, use this link, and you could get $30 off your Aptera. You could design it yourself, and you have to just put down $70. Of course, you could also invest in Aptera. I'm not a financial advisor. Talk to your own financial advisor. I'm just putting this out there. This could be a big opportunity to you, but with every investment comes risk. So make sure you talk to your financial advisor and see if that's what you want to do. But now I have to tell you that I believe that if Steve and Chris had stayed with Aptera in the beginning, if they hadn't have brought on those investors to help run the company, I bet you they would have got Aptera off the road. It wouldn't have been the same as it is now because they had a limited range and the solar power wasn't powerful enough but to only run the coolant or the heater. But right now, I know Aptera is going to get off the road and they are going to start kicking it to every automaker in the industry. Mark my word, this is going to happen. All right, I just want to say thank you so much, you guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, ring the bell, and hit the like button, and you get all my new videos. You guys, y'all are awesome. Once again, y'all have a good day. Take care, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.